Alright, let's talk about iOS 27. No, not the flashy AI features or the new Siri upgrades. This is about something way more personal. Your lock screen. For years, Apple treated the lock screen like a museum exhibit. Pretty to look at, but don't touch anything. But iOS 27? It's like Apple finally handed you the keys to the museum and said, go ahead, hang your own art. And honestly, it's about time. And let's start with the biggest shakeup. Image Playground. You can now generate custom wallpapers straight from settings using AI. Describe what you want. A neon-lit cyberpunk cityscape, a serene mountain lodge, whatever. And the system cooks it up. But here's what fascinates me. Apple's leaning into AI-generated content in a major way. This isn't just a gimmick. It's a sign they're betting big on generative AI being a daily tool, not a novelty. And sure, you can tweak photos you already have, but I keep wondering, how many of us will actually use this? Will our lock screens become hyper-curated digital dioramas, or just another default? And then there's the extend feature. Ever tried setting a photo as wallpaper, only for the edges to look chopped off? iOS 27 uses AI to auto-extend the image, filling in the gaps with context-aware pixels. It straightens crooked horizons, adds space around portraits. It's like having a mini Photoshop in your pocket. But here's the twist. This feels less like innovation and more like Apple fixing a problem they created. Why did they force rigid aspect ratios for so long? And now that they've solved it, does that mean they're admitting their old approach was flawed? Wait, but the real flex here? Ditching the now playing widget. For years, if you listen to a podcast, your lock screen became a mini Spotify ad. No more. Swipe left, it's gone. Your lock screen, your rules. What's intriguing is how this reflects Apple's evolving philosophy. They're slowly peeling back layers of control, almost like they're testing how much freedom users can handle without breaking the ecosystem. But let's be real. This is huge. For minimalists, it's a win. For people who hate clutter, it's a godsend. But does this small tweak hint at a bigger shift? Maybe Apple's realizing that less isn't just a design ethos, it's a competitive edge. And then there's the clock. That giant, in-your-face digital clock dominating your screen? You can shrink it, move it, hide it. Personally, I think this is Apple's subtle apology to every designer who's ever screamed, white space is your friend. By letting you demote the clock, they're prioritizing aesthetics over function, something they've historically avoided. But here's the deeper question. Why now? Is this a response to Android's widget flexibility? Or is Apple just realizing that their users have grown up? That we're less about utility first and more about self-expression? If you step back, iOS 27's lock screen changes aren't just about customization, they're about identity. Apple's letting us inject personality into a space that was once a sterile billboard. But this also raises a paradox. The more control they give us, the more they risk diluting their own sleek brand image. So where's the line? How much chaos will Apple tolerate before they rein us back in? Final thought. This update feels like a turning point. Not because of the tech itself, but because of what it symbolizes. Apple's no longer the gatekeeper, they're the facilitator. And sure, they're still curating the tools, but the message is clear. Your phone should look like you, not like you accept defaults. So what'll you do with that power? Turn your lock screen into a digital art gallery? A Zen meditation space? Or just leave it default because you're lazy? Either way, the choice is yours. And that's the point.